What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Soul Therapy YouTube channel. Today we're hitting the north side, checking out some sneaker stores, and hopefully finding some great kicks for good prices. Starting off first is Crossroads Trading. They usually have really good deals on kicks in this store. This store is a secondhand shop though, so we're only going to be finding used kicks in here, but that's better for us because we could find shoes under 70 bucks easily. I've been thinking to start a series similar to Seth Fowler's $20 sneaker collection. If you guys would like to see that, let me know because I'm always shopping for used kicks and seeing what kind of deals I can get. Ideally, the shoe that I'd work up towards would have to be my grails, which are the Nike Dunk Low SB Blue Lobster, which are incredibly hard to find for good prices, especially if you're looking to get that shoe new. They had these Asics here and I really got to start learning the model numbers and model names, even though they're not as intuitive as like Jordan brand where it's literally just Jordan 1, Jordan 2. They had these metallic purple Jordan 1s that I found to be pretty clean. Check out these Jordan 12s they had as well. And the one thing about Crossroads is with their pricing, they really price everything about the same regardless of the condition, so you can get something that's absolutely cooked and it's going to be the same price as something that is relatively new, which can be a good or bad thing depending on the condition of the sneaker. And with places like this, you rarely get a shoebox, which usually isn't a big deal with GR releases, but with special shoes, definitely having the box is nice. They also had these winterized Jordan 9s, and while they seem cool, I doubt they can actually hold up with Chicago winter. If you know, you know. And you can really find some cool clothing pieces here. Half of the time, they're going to have the nice stuff hanging up on the wall. Overall, a solid selection from Crossroads, but nothing too mind-boggling. Our next stop of the day is going to be round 2, Chicago. Easily the best secondhand sneaker store anywhere. They have a crazy selection of kicks in here, and they've also been expanding on their vintage selection of clothing items and all that cool stuff. I feel like their prices here are fairly reasonable, especially with the used kicks. They'll go down under retail if they have to, but I noticed their clothing items are just way too overpriced. I'm not really sure who's paying 45, 50 bucks for a vintage shirt. You really shouldn't be doing that, but hey, I'm not going to be telling you how to spend your money, especially coming from a guy who spends hundreds monthly on kicks. I really can't point no fingers. With that being said, they had some kicks in here that I would really love to add to the collection, including these Jordan 1 breads, and they wanted $250 for them used. I feel like that was a decent price, but I definitely can get them cheaper if I'm looking on Depop or eBay. And with the Bread 85s coming out next year, I definitely am going to be a little bit patient, seeing if I can cop those. I've been also searching around for these Bad Bunny last forms. When I'm able to find my size for a good price, I'm definitely going to pull the trigger. I would love to have those. I love the silhouette. They also had the Siempre Familia Nike Dunk Lows, kind of a weird release that didn't get too much attention when they dropped. I remember them reselling for a bit. Now they're not worth as much, especially since Nike Dunk Low hype is very low. In general, hype for Nikes and Jordans is at an all-time low. I mean, those Jordan 1 metallic burgundies are sitting at outlets right now for, in most cases, over 40% off, which is absolutely insane for a kick that's considered a grail by a lot of sneaker collectors. But a part of me completely understands. Everything has gone so expensive, especially if you're in a major city. Just living expenses and rent is barely manageable. And that's why I'm a big advocate for thrift stores and small businesses. If you're able to get your clothes from there, I think it's just going to be a lot more sustainable for the environment, and also you'll be helping out your community. By the way, those New York Nike Dunk Lows, completely fake. They felt so off. I don't know how they were charging so much for those. I also had to check out Supreme and see what their latest drop was, and it seemed like it was inspired by Kermit the Frog. I really was not feeling any of these pieces at all. They looked awful if you ask me. The designs were definitely foo-foo. These fits were actually pretty clean, but not something that I felt like I needed to add to my personal wardrobe. Sometimes they'll have some nice Supreme Nike kicks in here, but there really wasn't anything. They didn't even have the standard Air Force Ones, which they usually always have in stock. They had a couple of basic other t-shirts on the other side of the store that were much more impressive, even though pretty simple compared to that whole entire Kermit the Frog thing. I don't know what they were thinking with that. I know Supreme is known for their outdoor collabs, but just the designs were not hitting. Lastly, we had to check out St. Alfred to see what they had in stock. These Olympic Gazelles look almost exactly the same to the Bad Bunny Gazelles that dropped recently, which is crazy, besides that red tab on the heel. Also, those Adidas Hamburgs are actually pretty fire. I might need to drop a video on those. What do you guys think? The material on those Doc Martens, fire. And they also had the new Nike Huff Air Max 1s. I think Nike was expecting for these to sell a lot better than they actually did. They also had this Airshap collaboration with Opium. I have no idea what Opium is. But by far the coolest new release were the Air Max SNDRs. This was a pretty clean colorway. The overall silhouette itself definitely gives me those Y2K runner vibes. And if you're looking for retail Asics, slide over to St. Alfred. You can't do wrong. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing for more Soul Therapy.